Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick tutorial video on the Brainmaster 3.7i software. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Typically what we do in Office is we're going to go ahead and open up a browser to select our streaming platform that we're going to use. We do not recommend use YouTube for training purposes. We are going to use it because you can see the video when we're recording these videos. Things like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Disney Plus black out the screen. So we're going to use YouTube for the purposes of this video, but we do not recommend use YouTube. You can use any of the other mentioned platforms. So we're going to go to YouTube and just pick a random video. And once that loads, just like Netflix or any other platform, you're going to select a video. So we're just going to scroll down here and find something nice and easy. So we'll just select some fishing videos because I like fishing. So let's go ahead and just set this up right here. And okay, now that we got this situated on an actual viewer, we're going to go ahead and we'll just mute this for now. Okay, so now that we've got our video that's playing in the background or here, we're going to go ahead and open up the Brainmaster 3.7i software. So we're going to go ahead and double click on that. It's going to say, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? You're going to click on yes. Once you click on yes, you're going to go to folder selections. You'll find the folder that your trainer has given you. So this has a lot of different files in it for folders, but for all intents and purposes, you're looking for your name with a color that's going to correspond to the sensor locations that you'll be instructed with, like on the other video that shows you how to put the sensors on. So you'll look for your name and the color that you're going to be using to train for the cap that you're going to use. So for training purposes, we're going to go to our test folder. We're going to highlight it in blue and then press OK. Please do not double click. If you do, it will select a folder. We just want to avoid any errors with double clicking. So we'll highlight it to secure and make sure we've got the right folder selected. And then we're going to press OK. Once we press OK, we're going to go ahead and go over to Run Next Session. Once we see Run Next Session, at this point, make sure everything's connected correctly, that you've done your setup and that the person is sitting comfortably. And we're going to go ahead and press Go. Once we press Go, it's going to say ready to start, place electrodes. We've already done that. And then we're going to go ahead and press OK to start the session. Once we press OK, we're going to get one more chance to just check and make sure we have a good signal. And as you'll see here, this signal is a little bit fuzzy. The markings look a little bit thick. So what we're looking for is very pencil thin lines going across the screen. Your trainer will do a lot of coaching with you to make sure that you've got a good signal, you understand what that looks like. So for training purposes, this signal is not the best. It's okay, but it's not the best. So we want to make sure that we get a really good clean signal. Once we do, it's ready to go, we're going to go ahead and press OK. Once you press OK, you'll see that there's a baseline, and that baseline is just to get a recording of what's going on with the person at this time. It'll say, please relax your baseline reading. You can see that there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do at this time is I'm going to go ahead and reduce this screen down to just where you can see the clock. Once the once the baseline is done, you'll see a message here that'll say 120-second baseline number 1. If you are still extended out here, you will see that it'll say, instead of simulating EEG, it'll say please perform task. Once you see that please perform task and the baseline is over, we're going to go ahead and make sure that our clock is visible. We're going to go ahead and also select our viewing window to make sure that our sizing is correct. So we've got our viewable window here. We've got our clock running. And last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the dimmer software. So down here at the bottom or on the desktop, you'll see a blue and white icon that it'll say BMD. So it'll say BMD, like here it says BMD shortcut. So we're going to go ahead and click that one time. That's going to open up our dimmer software. We want to make sure that it's at 70. So if it's not on 70, you can slide this back and forth. So we'll get it over to 70. That may change as we're kind of going through sessions over time, but for the purposes of training and getting started, we're going to leave it at 70. The dimming speed needs to be set at 3. If it's at 4, 5, 6 or anything other than that or less, we're going to go ahead and slide it over to where it's at 3. So once we have it at 70 and 3, we're going to go ahead and press open. What you'll see is a window will open up, and this is your dimmer window. So we're going to take this dimmer window and place it directly over the viewable area for the streaming platform. Now, one thing to take note of, it's very important, is once you put this dimmer window over the top of this screen or your video that you're watching, you can't click behind that window. So if you needed to pause or stop the video or something like that, all you need to do is just move the window out of the way, and then you can click in this window again, or you can minimize it, or you can close it and reopen it. But we do want to make sure that we're not trying to click behind this window here, because you can't. So once this window is over the top of this window here and the screen is getting brighter and darker, the brightness is indicating we're meeting our goals. If it's dark, we're not meeting our goals, and the screen gets dark. So the brain will learn over time how to control the brightness on the screen by producing the correct patterns, which are predetermined over here on these little thermos. And those are really for the trainer to kind of take a peek at and make sure that everything is working correctly. So for at home, what we're going to make sure is that the signal stays with good quality, nice and pencil thin, and the session is running. So this clock will run all the way down to 0. Once it's gotten to 0, you can just go ahead and close everything. This window will freeze when it hits 0, so nothing will be running. These little thermos will stop moving, and the lines will quit progressing across the screen, and it'll be frozen. That's your indicator to let you know that the session's over and the clock has hit 0, and you can close everything out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to close out the training software. You can hit stop, or if it says here, if it's stopped, you can just close out. To make it easier for yourself, just go ahead and close once this hits 0s. And then we'll go ahead and close out our dimmer software, which will eliminate that window there. And then you're left with your training plot or your dimming screen that you're watching on your streaming device or streaming platform. And that'll be the last thing that's left on the screen. So once you're done with that, you can go ahead and simply just close out of that window. And then you'll be left with the Brainmaster software here. You can leave that open if you'd like. Otherwise, you can close it out and reopen it again. But just remember, if you do close it and you do have to reopen it, it's going to say, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? And you're going to click yes, and you're back to the beginning screen. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your provider or technician, and they'll be happy to walk you through any additional steps that are needed. Everyone, hope you have a good day. Thank you.